My name is Jules, and I help children and families look after their mental health. So if you have any questions, no matter how big or small, why don't you write me a Dear Jules letter to this email address, and I'll see if I can help. Remember, this is not for emergencies, so if you have an urgent question or you or anyone you know is in any danger, you can call Childline at any time on 0800 1111. But for everything else, Dear Jules is here to listen. My first Dear Jules letter comes from a girl in year 4. It is such a simple question, but I bet there are a lot of people out there who would love to find an answer. Dear Jules, my question is, how do you start a conversation if you want to tell someone how you are feeling? Well, let's see if I can help. First of all, you need to work out what it is that you want to say. How do you feel? Now, it can be complicated and confusing working out exactly how you feel because feelings are a bit like a tangled ball of string sometimes, and it can be hard to pull out all the different threads and work it out. So I would encourage you to think about feelings as having 3 parts. There are thoughts, there are words, and there are sensations. So if we take an example like, I feel worried because I am sitting an exam tomorrow, the thought that goes with that worry might be, I might fail, or I might not know the answer to the question, or my teacher might get cross with me. The words are about worry, anxiety, stress, and the feelings, the sensations in your body might include stomach pain, feeling a bit sick, your heart beating really fast, your breathing being shallow. Once you've worked out how you are feeling, the next step is to work out how to communicate that feeling to the other person. Now, it depends, of course, a little bit about who it is that you're speaking to, but I always find it helps if you're engaged in a different activity while you're talking. Sitting down face to face with someone and telling them exactly how you feel can be quite hard, and for some people may feel impossible. But if you were kicking a football around or going for a walk or maybe sitting in the car on a long car journey, it can be much easier just to casually start a conversation with somebody and to drop in some of your thoughts about how you feel. One thing I'm sure of is that there are some times where it's really not a good idea to start up a conversation with your feelings. Just before you go to bed or fall asleep is never a good time to start a big conversation like this. If you feel like you want to talk to your mum or your dad and it's bedtime, it might be a good idea to find a time in agreement with them that you could start the conversation the next day. It's also not a good idea to start a conversation when you're feeling angry. When you start a conversation in anger, it can feel a bit like you're blaming someone or accusing them of something. And if you start from a position of telling them that they've done something wrong, it might be really hard for them to listen to how you feel. Remember, there's no right or wrong when it comes to feelings. How you feel is how you feel. And whilst you can't make anyone understand how you feel, and you can't make them listen to you, what you can do is kindly and calmly explain to them the way that you see things. And it can really help if you have a few ideas for some constructive changes that you can make to try and help you feel better. Finally, if none of that works, or it just feels a little bit too difficult to start that conversation, why don't you try writing your feelings down in a letter or an email? Some people find it much easier to express themselves in this way, and it's a brilliant way of telling somebody else how you feel. Thank you for writing to me.